So we continue to talk about serving. Today I want to read to you from Mark chapter 9, and in this little text, the disciples were told were arguing with one another about who was the greatest. As I said yesterday, this is an example of the jockeying for position, the trying to say who's better, I cast out more demons than you did, James. Oh, well, I healed more people than you did, Simon. Here they are arguing about who's the greatest. And they're arguing about this right after Jesus has told them that he's going to be handed over and he's going to be crucified, which makes it even worse. And so in Mark chapter 9, he asked them what they were arguing about. And it says in verse 34, but they were silent, for on the way they had argued with one another who was the greatest. And then our verse for today is verse 35. He, Jesus, sat down, called the 12, and said to them, whoever wants to be first must be last of all and servant of all. And so this is part of what I sometimes call the inversion of Jesus. The inversion of Jesus. So often, Jesus is flipping people's expectations or values. He's flipping them upside down. He's inverting them. He's turning them into a totally different way. We so often think about climbing, clawing, working our way into success and into greatness. There's the image that we have of climbing a ladder of success. But as a Christian, Jesus inverts that. And he says, actually, as a Christian, you descend into greatness. You don't ascend and climb a ladder of success to greatness as a Christian. And so while they're arguing about who's the greatest, Jesus just sits them down and says, you want to be great? You want to be first? Be last. Be a servant of all. And here Jesus is again, he's piercing the ego needs of his disciples. The ego wants to feel that I'm important, that my opinion matters, that I have value, that you need me, and you all should be doing things for me. And Jesus, just like taking the air out of a balloon, is like, no, that's not the way it works. You descend into greatness. You don't try to climb a ladder. You try to climb a ladder down and say, I'll take the lowest place. I'll do what no one else wants to do. I'll take the task that other people think is beneath them. I'll do it. And I'm also not in a position of looking down on anyone else. Jesus teaches the only one in a position to look down on anyone is God. None of us should be looking down on anyone. So again, as we've seen throughout this week, it's about Jesus sets our example. He's humble. He descends from heaven to earth. He serves everybody. He washes feet. He's always lifting up other people, and we are to follow his example. So remember, you don't climb into greatness as a Christian. You descend into greatness by serving.